to the LFG Pats Pod with your hosts, Joe and Mike. Let's go!
Let's fucking go.
Let's do it.
That intro, man, gave me the chills all over. My nipples are electrified. It's crazy.
You cut glass right now, couldn't you?
Oof,
Get you going right there, bro.
So, boys, we're at episode 28, and I cannot be happier. This weekend was absolutely electric between the event we had at Rogue Island and the huge win. We were interviewing kids, kissing babies. We were doing all kinds of fun stuff. But it was electric. And so we have Bri Talks Pats back on. He was just on 2 episodes ago, but we figured, you know what? Let's bring him back. We talked about, I think, the Panthers and some weird things, but now we got something real to talk about, some real substance, a real test. Brian, thank you so much for joining us.
It went so well, we had to bring him on again.
Yeah, exactly,
Absolutely.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for having me on. Definitely a lot more fun to come talk to after a win, but I'd say it's especially gratifying to come talk after a big win like we had. I don't feel like we've had a lot of big ones, so I'm excited to be here, talk some Pats, talk a little bit about the game, and it's always a good time.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to unpack here. Drake Maye, Steph Diggs, all these fun things, the defense. But before we get into that, guys, we got to talk about the sponsors. So Rogue Island Kitchen and Bar, very grateful for what they did for us this weekend. Ryan Bissett crushed it, absolutely crushed it. Wagyu beef, wieners, sliders. I mean, this food just kept coming out. People were like, "Is this it?" We're like, "No,
wings, chicken and biscuits, poutine bites, like all these different
wings and all kinds." People were like, "What were on those wings?" So like, he definitely gained a bunch of customers, and so we definitely are
all
happy.
My family's still talking about the food.
Yeah,
so
we're happy with what they did. Everyone was happy. We raised some money for the podcast, so thank you so much. Rogue Island Kitchen and Bar, it's in the Arcade in Providence, and then Horizon HVAC. I can't say enough about these guys too. Talk about guys who just come in the clutch. Mike Cesaroni, awesome guy. If you guys have any HVAC problems, get your stuff checked out before the winter comes, guys. Trust me, like mine, it was all gunked up. It was a problem. They came within 2 hours. They were in and out. They actually have a preventative plan too. I think it's $250. They come out once a year, and all your regular maintenance is covered. These guys are awesome. They're honest. They're quick. They're efficient. Give them a call, Horizon HVAC. Check them out. They're all over social media, all on Instagram. We're constantly retweeting their stuff. But all right, let's get into it, guys.
So, Bri, where were you during that wonderful, awesome victory?
I was with family, yelling at the top of my lungs, just kind of like just getting together, just kind of like just cheering them on and stuff like that. I know that I just remember once the second half started, I basically told people not to touch me, not to look at me in any way.
Don't touch me.
I was like, please don't even like look in my direction. But it was exciting. It was a lot, and it was a lot of fun. It was probably one of the most entertaining games that I got to watch, where we actually felt like we were executing and actually being the team that was coming up on top of making positive plays that determined the game. It just feels like in the previous years, we kind of we were in so many close games and we just find a way to lose. And this one was just like, it was nice to actually be on the opposite end, where we actually were the team that were finding ways to, get ahead.
Absolutely. And there's so much to unpack. It's tough to know where to even start with this one right here.
Yeah.
I would like to just touch briefly upon what I think is the major factor, and then we're going to go over it again. But have we seen the arrival of Drake Maye because of the nature of the game, the primetime slot, the magnitude of the whole situation, and the fact that he conducted an insane fourth quarter 2-minute drive that basically iced the game? Has Drake Maye arrived, guys?
Brian, I'll let you answer this one.
I think I've been this season. I think, look, when I first Mac Jones came on the scene in 2021, I was a huge Mac Jones defender at that time because obviously when you draft a player for the Patriots, you want them to succeed, and you're trying to find motivation and ways and reasons why that player should be succeeding and isn't. And I did the mistake of maybe just overhyping him a little bit. I'm guilty of that. And with Drake May, I took a different approach. I was like, okay, well, you have all the physical tools. I just need to see progressive steps taken as the season goes on, because last year he didn't even have a full season. I mean, he basically, you know, after week 7, I think it was the first time he actually became the starter and stuff like that. So he didn't even have a full NFL season under his belt. So this season, was a little tougher on Drake as far as expectations. I was like, I'm not going to give you so much leeway. I need to see some traits, something that tells me, okay, you have taken what you got last year and now you're progressing it into the season. I need to see big time throws. I need to see him be competitive against a good football team, and I need to see it when the spotlight is really on you. What are you going to show me? So I think based on his body of work, and then also having seen him in Miami, that actually saw him live and actually was able to kind of look at his, you're on TV, you see him when he's on offense, but then you kind of take your eyes off the players and you just watch something else. But I think we're seeing the arrival of a player who's actually meeting expectations for fans like me, who thought he would take that next step. But as a 23-year-old to do what he's doing, absolutely. I think he has arrived. I think he
23,
yeah,
It's
23.
it's
3 years
absolutely
old.
insane.
Yeah.
And I think all the other fans in the league are absolutely throwing up in their mouths. Like, I really
Especially
feel
the Bills fans.
I really feel
I don't know if you guys troll Bills fan sites, but I do.
I do too.
So they're friggin' officially nervous right now. I friggin'
Bills
love it.
Muse, I love that guy.
I
But
know
no,
all Jets fans are punching air. I know every single Jets fan
oh
is
yeah.
punching it. These guys have been looking for a quarterback for 177 years, and here we are, Tom Brady. We endure 5 years of QB poverty, and then all of a sudden we have Drake May. I know they have to be absolutely
It's
salty.
But Bri, to your point, I loved Mac Jones in 2021, and I feel like he got done dirty over here. I really do. He was mismanaged and miscoached. Belichick effed the whole thing up. I'm really happy for what he's doing right now because I thought he had that potential, but I would still rather have Drake May due to the dynamicism. That's a word, by the way. The dynamicism
I'll believe
of
you.
his offense. Like Mac Jones couldn't fight off a 320-pound defensive tackle and
Absolutely
still
absurd.
make the play by going down. So I appreciate that, but I also appreciate your comment about Mac Jones because we didn't do him any favors at all. But I'm still happy.
And I don't understand the Mac Jones hate. It's just really, really odd to me that people do this. Like, the guy, you have to, just like you said, you have to look at the situation he was in, who was his offensive coordinator, who was around him. It's almost like even Drake May last year, right? I mean, let's face it, you put him in front of a complete dog shit offensive line with no weapons. His best weapon was Hunter Henry and Pop Douglas, who Pop Douglas isn't even, let's face it, he's invisible. And so now you have a legit weapon. Enter Stefan Diggs, who people were saying he's washed. He's not going to be able to come back. I'm like, have you watched his workout tapes? Have you watched this guy working out? He looks like he is absolutely on fire in these workout tapes, and you can tell he's got a lot to prove. And even ZB was saying it, and before the game, he goes, I was saying this in the beginning of the season. Stefan Diggs is going to be where he needs to be. And what did he do the whole game? He was everywhere he needed to be in that game, whether it was a scramble drill with Drake May, it was, whatever route he was running. I mean, the guy just gets open. He knows how to manipulate defenses. He knows how to do it. And guess what? Drake May now has a number one option. He's got an offensive line that's much improved. We're not elite. We still got some issues. But I mean, I've been saying this since the preseason, and we looked at this schedule. Mike and I looked at the schedule and we go, this is a cakewalk schedule. We had an amazing free agency and draft. What do we need to do? All we really need to do, and I posted about this before the game, is have a marginally better offensive line. We need to make sure our defensive line gets some upgrades, which we did, and they pan out. Barmore and Milton Williams. And we need some fucking people that can catch the ball. Guys that can actually catch the football. Go figure.
Yeah.
And we have all those things, and look where we are. We're all talking about it, 9, 10, 11 wins. What's the ceiling? I don't know.
Is that chemistry real, Brian, between Maye and Diggs right now? Is it going to grow? Is it going to move forward?
I think the chemistry is real because this wasn't a one-off already. I mean, it happened the previous game against the Panthers. Everybody just kind of just shrugged it off. I was like, well, it's the Panthers, let's see. And then he goes against Buffalo, a team that is much more formidable, and he played inspiring football. I think I think that whole quote that he said, we're all we got, we all we need. I think that's going to carry throughout the entire season as a staple of the Patriots kind of like, it's kind of like their cowboy up kind of way of they're just going to rally around that. And honestly, I'm surprised this guy Diggs didn't get voted as a captain because you hear him talk and you pay attention when he talks. He amps you up. He has a way
does
of
the
rallying.
pregame speech. He's the pregame speech guy. Does the
He's our
pregame
Devin
speech
McCourty now. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm as surprised about that as you. I feel like he's going to be an honorary captain several times moving forward based on all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And just the chemistry is great. And I think as long as Drake continues to, get more comfortable in Josh McDaniel's system and understand more the coverages and starts actually, instead of it's one of those things about Drake is that when he started the year, everything seemed very controlled, very scripted, very safe. And now you're starting to see Drake actually slinging it. You're starting to see him like improvise, roll to his right, make throws on the run, take off. I actually saw him take a hit for the first time since all season. I got a little scared when he did it, but I actually saw him take a couple of hits, when he ran. And I think once Drake starts like really getting into the groove of things and more in rhythm, which is scary to think for the rest of the league, I think Stefan's going to probably be one of the biggest beneficiaries as far as what's going to happen with that chemistry and that confidence that he's gaining, with Drake Maye is gaining. So I think, the sky's the limit for the offense as long as everybody stays healthy.
So do you think it's an evolution specific to Josh McDaniel's system? Because like you just said, he was treating it with kid gloves the first couple of weeks. That might be why we lost the Raiders game. I don't know for sure. But now that he's learning more about how to work with Drake Maye and how he can get off schedule plays and be a playmaker in that regard, do you think he's running more? I know they move the pocket and they do off tackle runs and try to get people outside and whatnot. But you think McDaniels is actually recognizing what this guy's strengths are, and maybe sometimes off scripted plays are the way to do that? Because the kid seems to be getting it done in those particular situations.
I think it's a combination of both. I think it's Josh McDaniels learning to let go a little bit and be like, okay, this guy has massive talent. He can obviously do things. So, if he needs to go off script and do something, they're kind of letting him do that. And I also think it's Drake Maye kind of understanding the game. For example, he kind of like the Buffalo game was a very grind game. There was the offense kind of sputtered a little bit in certain areas, and then he goes 13 for 14 in the second half. I don't know. I don't know the number that he went. I think it was 9 for 9 in the fourth quarter or something. It was a ridiculous number. I don't have it right here with me.
Locked in. Him and Diggs were absolutely locked in.
But that's Drake Maye basically saying, okay, this is what wasn't working. This is what I'm seeing from Buffalo. So let me go out there and just trust my ability, and play quarterback, and I thought he played a lot more loose in the second half. And I think you're going to see a combination of Josh trying to simplify the game for him and give him some easy plays here and there. And also Drake Maye also saying, well, if that play gets taken off the board, then let me go make something happen and let me go off script a little bit. And I think it's going to be a good combination. And I just think Drake's been phenomenal when he has to actually make decisions. I haven't seen him make a lot of mistakes this year.
Yeah, and
phenomenal.
And also I think the other thing we need to talk about here is Will Campbell against Bosa. Will Campbell, I mean, this is again the same thing with the Panthers, right? We knew the Panthers didn't really have a pass rush. So, in that regard, we were like, yeah, that's kind of what we should have done. Well, guess what?
He owned Joey Bosa.
He dominated Joey Bosa.
He owned
So,
him.
to me, again, this is just another notch on the belt. You know, I feel like that mantra is going to lead us throughout the whole season. I feel like we're going to grow off of this because now we have all the confidence in the world, but hopefully that doesn't also hurt us, you know, when it comes down to playing some of these easy games that are coming up, going
Yeah.
into New Orleans. We have the Browns at home. We have, I think, the Bucks at home, right? Titans away. So, you know, we got some games that are questionable coming up. So hopefully we can build on this and not take a step back. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
big thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
that-
you have a couple of teams, like the Ravens and the Bengals, who are reeling. You know, if these teams, if the Bengals, for example, and the Ravens, kind of like, you know, based on injuries, or I don't know how Lamar is doing. If something happens with them, you know, you look at the schedule and you're like, wow, I
Yeah,
see 11, 12 wins here if they play, you
exactly.
know, to their potential and don't fumble the football, or don't, you know, commit uh,
Or injuries or whatever.
injuries, or
Right?
miss, you know, penalties. I think penalties, it's still an issue for the team, but if they can keep the penalties down, keep the turnovers down, and play smart football, 11 wins is on the table.
Absolutely. I saw them with 2 L's later on in the season, the Bills and the Ravens. I don't feel that way
Well,
anymore
it's
after
tough.
Sunday.
It's now you get the Bills at home. Now they got to come into your home and do it,
Yeah.
which obviously Foxborough we've had issues, but I still feel like at that game, you know, Vegas is going to be closer on that game at this point.
They
Once
better
that comes
be.
around, we'll see. Obviously, with the health and whatever other factors we'll be dealing with then.
Yeah.
Well,
But
I know it's a total hype train, but Brian, do you see this team in their current trajectory? I know it's only one game, but looking at the schedule up ahead, the next couple games, do you think this team has a shot to sneak into the playoffs as a wild card seed or anything like that?
Well, look, I don't want to throw around the big D word, but I'm going to do it. I like I like the division. Okay, the
yeah,
division title right now, they're 2-0 in the division with away wins in Buffalo and in Miami. Two places where they haven't had a lot of success against two teams that have given them issues in the past in their respective stadiums. But now you get to bring those guys to Foxborough, you know, later down in the season. Then you have the Jets, who basically, it took us to completely tank the season for them to beat us, you know, one time. And before that, we've owned them, and they're terrible this year. So I'm not expecting 2 L's against the Jets. I don't care. I'm expecting 2 W's there. So you start looking at, you get two important wins against divisional rivals on the road, right? And then you have them further down the season, you have them at home. Even if you split with the Bills, and you can still take two from the Dolphins. I feel like the Dolphins are going to be sellers at the deadline. I feel that team looks like cooked.
100%, 100%.
Yeah. And then you have the Jets. The division is on the table, Mike. It's on the table.
I like it.
I love it.
I think they should aim right at that, and I don't think they should sell themselves short. The team cannot limit themselves. They can't put a ceiling on themselves. I think the division is up there, and I, for one, not to disrespect Buffalo, I think Josh Allen is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I don't see Buffalo. I haven't been impressed by Buffalo. They've squeaked by basically a bunch of really bad teams, what people
Mediocre
see as
teams.
mediocre teams, and I don't know exactly how that entails. You know, it's one of those things where Buffalo is not looking great. Like, they're getting wins, but they're not convincing. Kind of like the Eagles in the NFC, where they get wins, but they're not like, you're like, but there's a lot of flaws in those wins. I
Yeah,
see the same thing with
they
Buffalo.
played the Dolphins and the Saints, and they looked
Yeah,
unimpressive, and they looked
unimpressive.
like they
So
could have lost those games.
yeah,
So
so if you now you look at the schedule and you're like, well, the Bills' schedule isn't as easy, you know, but they'll play a lot of the opponents, but they'll have a couple of more division winners from last season. But I think I really do think that the Patriots can, if they can get anyone near 11 or 12 wins, they'll be in contention for the division. I don't know if that'll happen. I'm not saying it will, but I'm saying that's what they should aim for. I do think they're a playoff team as
So you
constructed.
think they have BDE? That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, they do
Big
have
division
BD.
energy.
Yeah, big division energy. They have something, but I'm telling you, like, ride with me on this lightning. I think they should get on the
I'm
division.
with you, man.
I think they should go there. I think they have the team. And look, we're 5 fumbles away from talking about a team that legitimately could be right now.
Yep,
3-1.
you're right. You could even
Four-
argue we're
4-1.
1 or 2. Yeah, we could be 1 or 2 fumbles away from being 4-1. You know what I mean?
Everyone says it. They should have beaten the Steelers. That's a team they clearly outplayed. It's one of the
Yeah.
weirdest, strangest games I've ever seen. And yeah, I believe in this team. I believe in Drake May. I think we have something special, and I think a win like Sunday nights, they can use it as a rallying, as a statement, as a staple of like, hey, look, we can hang with anyone. We can play with
It is
anyone,
a
Hell
and our
yeah.
it's a
quarterback can play with anyone.
it's a statement game for sure.
Yeah.
Drake made the clutchest plays in the clutchest possible moments.
And he's made every throw at every level. Shout out to the King Rose over here. What's up, man? But yeah, no, he's made every throw at every level. He's dropping in balls in cover 2. He's throwing fucking frozen ropes on rollouts to the right, 40 yards downfield to Diggs. He's throwing sideline again, rollout on the move throws to Diggs on the sideline, where he's got one spot to catch it between the defender and the sideline, and he throws it perfectly.
He just knows how to get open. Diggs just knows how to get open.
And
That's
Diggs
the bottom line.
Diggs May, who is an MVP candidate. I don't care what anybody says.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's got to be on every list. He's
Top
got to be on
5.
every
If he
list.
again, like, if they win the Steelers game and he's 4-1, I don't know how the fuck you don't put him on the MVP list, like, at all. Like, he's playing as a
Exactly.
top 5 quarterback across the board.
I agree. And it's funny because we're starting to get into people's heads. You look at the Buffalo Bills comment boards. And they know what's coming. They know what's next, that they're at their plateau or worse, and we are on this trajectory.
They see it. They see the train coming. The train, it might be, they're not sure how close it is, but they see that light coming down the tunnel, and they're like, oh, this is not good.
You know what they see? They see they had 5 years to do something. They've had 5 years to win a Super Bowl. They had 5 fucking years with arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the reigning MVP.
Just like they had 4 years in the early 90s.
And they won nothing. They won nothing. Zero.
They will never win a Super Bowl. I am sorry. They will never win.
And guess what, boys? The AFC in general is wide open. It is wide open.
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs
just
lost. The Chiefs just lost to the Jaguars. The Jaguars are 4-1. I think they're fraudulent, but whatever, we'll see. I think their defense is pretty good, but when it comes down to it, the Ravens are absolutely a dumpster fire, mainly because of injury. I think
they're decimated by injuries.
Yeah, but at the beginning of the season, I picked them for the Super Bowl because they just had such an impressive roster top to bottom, but they're all decimated with injury. It's absolutely horrific.
Speaking of the Jags game, did you guys happen to notice Chris Jones' effort
on
Trevor Lawrence's double fall down and then going to the end zone for the game? Isn't he the best?
I was showing people at
league?
work today. I literally, at the beginning of a meeting,
he was just standing
I
there.
posted Savage posted the clip, and I posted it to some people in the meeting in our teams. I said, guys, watch this before this meeting real quick. This is the most disgusting display
lack of effort.
Like, and then he's pointing. When Trevor Lawrence went to go run in, he's pointing at the corner. He's like, hey, go get him. It's like, dude, why don't you go get him?
Exactly.
You watch him do it. You watch him do it.
And then, Brian, I was just telling Joe right before we came on about the Steelers. What was I saying about the Steelers? Oh, they wrote an article. One of their guys wrote an article about how our win against the Bills validates the Steelers' defense. And he was like talk about revisionist history. We held them to they held us to what, 300 something yards, but we only held them to 200 yards. But he's like, the fact that they went in and beat that team shows just how great our Steelers defense
Give
is.
me a break, dude.
And when it's like, we beat ourselves in that game. We beat ourselves in that game. So we're starting to get into people's heads, which means we are relevant.
We're doing the right thing.
We're relevant
exactly.
again. The Patriots are relevant again. They're not a joke anymore. People need to take them seriously. I thought it's funny that other blogs are talking about us unrelated to whatever the heck they have going on. So I'm very encouraged by that. People think that we're on the radar, and I think we are too.
I have a message for all Steeler fans.
Go for it, please.
Your team is hot ass. It's
Trash.
so bad.
It's
Please
really bad.
spare me. It took our entire team basically dosing themselves in Vaseline so because we couldn't flunk the fucking football.
It was a ditty party. It was a ditty party.
We literally it's like we dipped our fucking uniforms in baby oil, and that's what it took for you to fucking win by 7 points. Give me a fucking break.
And we still could have tied it up at the end.
Like
on top of everything else.
A break.
Just imagine being a Steelers fan and connecting those dots. You're like Charlie Day at the the meme with Charlie Day at the board with all the fucking dots connecting.
Oh yeah,
the conspiracy thing.
Yeah, that's the most ridiculous. That's just.
I'm just glad other teams are talking about us because
it's great.
It's obviously on people's radars. Like we're a problem. They're gonna have to deal with us right now.
And I think even Vrabel's coming into his own. I think between what Vrabel's doing with and even our young defensive coordinator who's taken over for Terrell Williams, I think
Zach Kerr did a great job.
Amazing job. I think the adjustments are looking.
He didn't blitz too much, which is what I love.
Yep. Yeah, we stayed back a lot. We we rushed 4 a lot of times. I feel like everything's, and I've said this from the beginning of the season. I feel like this season something in the universe is that everything's aligning all correctly, and it's very, very odd with the amount of travel that we don't have. Like it was like we were one of the least traveled teams in the league. The schedule being easy. Granted, we starting the season with Gonzo kind of knocked up or banged up wasn't great. I think we would be 5-0 if we had Gonzo from this beginning of the season, but that's whatever.
It would have been nice to have,
Towards the end of the season, we're going to be all of us are going to be sitting around saying, how the F did we lose to the Raiders? That's what we're going to be saying at the end. I can understand why we lost to the Steelers, 5 turnovers, but how the F did we lose to the Raiders?
But we are building fast. We're building very fast. And I think that between the Steelers blunders, and we know that's a very winnable game, and then the very next game having a near perfect clean sheet game where everything just clicked and went right. Special teams, we had Marcus Jones, we had everything going great. Perfect, trajectory going into the Bills game where they had a very poor trajectory. They kind of plateaued and kind of fell off a little bit. I mean, I think everything kind of worked into our favor, and it just continues with that theme of, man, this universe is just kind of it's putting this together. It's like it was supernatural. It
was our party. It was our
party. I'll give you that too.
It was our mojo that got us over.
I was yelling at the TV.
Thank you guys. If you guys don't throw a fucking party every weekend now, I'll be pissed.
We had a large contingent, and we were all very, very excited.
And it was funny. So we had the in the bar, we had the 2 TVs there, and then we had the 80 or 100 inch in the back room. And the back room TV was 3 seconds ahead. So when we start yelling, the front room's like, "Oh, well, that's it." So everyone left the bar, and we all packed into the back room. Oh, it was epic.
But we hear you yelling. The TV's not lined up. So we ended up packing the back room, and it was just a freaking free for all, man.
That sounds like a good time. You guys need to document that next time because I'm
sure a
lot of people want to it would just bring a massive attention to it. And I'm glad you guys did. I'm glad you guys had fun. I just look. There's 2 things I wanted to mention when I came on the pod. I actually wrote it down. I was like, there's 2 names that I want to throw out there that I think deserve massive recognition for their contributions, and I don't think they're being talked about. Is first of all, is Tonga as an addition.
Yeah, monster.
He is been the reason. He's been one of the main reasons, I would say, not the only reason, but one of the main reasons why we are yet to give up more than 50 yards rushing in a game. This kid has been nails,
Space
and
eater,
he
man.
should be
Space
signed
eater.
out to an extension immediately because he is obviously something that the it's so instrumental to what we do as a defense, how
He
we
eats
rotate our
three
tackles.
guys up. I've seen
Yeah,
him eat
it's
three
insane.
guys up at a time, for crying out loud.
Yeah,
That lets the rest of the guys go friggin' ballistic and do whatever the heck they
yeah,
want. And I'll let you finish the second point. But what I was talking about, Joe, about what I was impressed with, I thought they were starting on with a 4-3 in the beginning of the season. But now I'm seeing like a 3-4 where you got Tonga in the middle, and then Milton Williams and Chris Barmore at the third technique, and then your outside linebackers on the edge are Harold Landry and Chason. He was hurt, so it was Keon White in this particular situation. Then you have your two backers, your two offline linebackers. So with that 5-man front, it's going to be pretty difficult to get stuff done.
yeah.
But Tonga is like the fulcrum of all of that. He is a massive disruptor, and he can get upfield on the inside on passing downs too.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you mentioned him. The guy is a absolute beast.
He's been an underrated signing for them, not talked about enough. I think he deserves more love, and I'm going to make sure that before the end of the week, he gets more recognition for his contributions this season. But I think he's been nails. He's been absolutely, nails. And the other is Marcus Jones. I mean,
Yeah.
like to come
Monster
up,
game.
to do to do it in special teams 1 week, come back playing really good on the defensive side of the ball, still doing the punt return thing, and to get that key interception. I mean, he's been absolutely electric since the beginning of the year. And it's people will always be like, "Oh, well, he had that really nice interception, and that's great." But he also had that big breakup against Keon Coleman one-on-one with
Huge,
fourth down, and then
huge.
Keon Coleman is obviously a big receiver, and Josh was trying to lob
6'3"
it up there.
versus 5'8". 6'3"
And
versus 5'8".
Marcus Jones climbs the ladder and gets that breakup, and I'm like, just like Marcus Jones has been playing phenomenal since
Absolute
all
lights out.
season, making plays on defense, making plays on special teams. I'm sure if he's going to make plays on offense at some point, where they'll probably design a package here or there or something for him.
They
If he's
have
going to
to. He's
break a big
playing.
play and make
Yeah.
something, just get the ball into this kid's hands, and he does something special. Big shout out to Marcus Jones. Big shout out to
Big
Tonga.
time.
They've both been
Do we need to
really,
throw a
really
bag
good.
at him too? Is
Really
the other
good.
thing.
Yeah. They've been
Who's
really,
that?
really good.
Marcus
It's a good
Jones.
problem to
We need
have.
to throw a bag
Yeah.
at him.
Heck yeah.
So far, if you think about it, all the additions that they've done as free agency during the season, like on the off season, have been on the money. Milton Williams literally closed out a game for us
Lights
in
out.
Miami, and he's been great with Barmore. Tonga has basically made us one of the best run defenses. If not, I stand corrected. We're the best run defense in football. And then Carlton
Period.
Davis has had timely plays here or there. He'll give up something here or there, but he's been pretty solid back there. All these moves they're players that we didn't have the luxury of having last year. So shout out to
And
the
Carlton
front office.
and Davis, right? Davis as a secondary corner. We don't want him as our first corner, just like Alex Austin. But we have now depth at a position now. We have Al Austin as a third corner. We got Marcus Jones. We got our safeties.
Woodson and Hawkins.
Woodson's coming along. Hawkins is a little more kind of Jekyll and Hyde than I'd like.
He's a free safety.
He flashes.
Struggles in coverage and run support.
Right. He flashes at times. He can be a ball hawk, but he can also be a liability at times too. But I mean, when it comes down to it, this secondary made Josh Allen. I mean, granted, he can extend a play, but 6, 7. I mean, there's a whole mixtape made about what's his name, Gonzalez covering Keon Coleman for 7, 6, 7, 8 seconds. And actually, it's funny, the NFL put Game 5 highlights, and the picture was Keon Coleman. It looked like he was mossing Gilmore. But it was the play that he was way out of bounds in the back of the end zone. But they put that as the preview. It's kind of funny.
Again, it's one of those things where having Gonzo back there, massive help. And you
Oh,
tend to wonder how we would have fared against Pittsburgh and the Raiders if we had him back there for maybe a key play like that, where he got that, Gonzo got that third down stop where he broke up a play. That's a good
yep.
Christian Gonzalez play. That's a play that Christian Gonzalez made
Yes.
against the Enzo. But going back to the free agents, even Spillane, he forced a fumble. He had an interception. He had an interception also against the Steelers.
He's gotten
He,
better.
he's
Playing
gotten
better.
better. He's improved. Like he started really, like, oh man, this
Shaky,
might
yeah.
not be what I expected, but he has improved. Gibbons has played better. All these guys, all new additions to the team. They've all.
It's
at
mainly
some point
Ellis, right? Ellis is the
Yeah.
only one that's been
Yeah,
a
Ellis has
real
been a
head
problem in
scratcher.
coverage. That's why they
Yeah.
put Mapu in now for third downs to cover tight ends and slot guys and stuff. But Brian, I want to ask you, while we were on the defensive tackles, there was one thing that I noticed about the rotation. Now, we just talked about the first three guys, the Tonga and Williams and Barmore, but they were rotating in Joshua Farmer and
Yeah.
Corey Durden
Yeah.
quite a liberal amount of time. And it seems like those two guys are working in tandem. They're trying to keep Barmore and Williams together. And then the next group in is Durden and Farmer.
Yeah, it's like a hockey line.
And those guys, they came up with a couple of plays, but they also made some mistakes. But I've noticed that they had them in on third and long in a couple of instances. Brian, would you think that that's because they're just trying to give their two top dogs a blow? Or do you think it was more of like a scheme related thing to have those guys in on 3rd and 10 instead of our top two dogs? Because I noticed that.
I think when you're in 3rd and long, you're going to expect some play, some dump off or some run or something, and you're going to put more emphasis on trying to make sure that your secondary and your second level just keeps everything in front of them to prevent from the first down. So I think it's more about them. Look, they know they have two horses in Barmore and Williams. These are our guys. These are our money guys, right? So when we need them, they'll be in there. But if it's 3rd and long or situational, maybe they'll be like, all right, well, let's let these young guys get in and get some reps, right? Give the rotation going, give them a couple of shots out there, and then we just keep these guys for maybe down the game, down the stretch. They will need them. There'll be some 3rd and short situations, so some key passing downs where they'll actually need them. So it's a combination, I think, of maybe just trying to give the young guys maybe a little bit more run in situations that Milton Williams and Barmore aren't so needed per se, and also trying to keep them fresh a little bit also because again, what's making the defensive front so special is how good Milton Williams and Barmore are playing and how dominant they have been when it comes to, it allows them to basically create pressure up the middle, which is something that the Patriots, when the heck did the Patriots ever create pressure up the middle? We had Judon a couple years ago, but he was an edge guy, right? But so he was creating havoc off the edge. But these are guys that are literally just forcing quarterbacks to flush out of the pocket almost all the time.
We have two Pro Bowl players that can play any position on the defensive line.
Yes.
They're both all pros, those two interior guys,
100%.
as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. 100%. Yes.
But
absolutely.
we're not used to it because Belichick played a 2-gap system for so long. So whoever his DTs were, they had to hold the line of scrimmage and hold up two guys and carry two gaps. They're not asking these guys to do that. They're asking these guys to do one gap, get up the field, split those two men, and get in there.
Yeah.
So that's what Williams and Barmore excel at. Absolutely.
And I was worried about that with James Cook because, oh, by the way, James Cook, I think was he close to leading the league in rushing yards before this game?
I have James Cook in fantasy. Trust me, I was doing very well with James Cook as my my running back 1 in my fantasy, and then he turned around and gave me 4 points, and I had never been so happy to see my fantasy player fail for me. I was like, yes,
that's the dichotomy.
Yes.
You want your fantasy team to win, but you only want the guy to get so many points because you don't want your real team to lose. So it's a slippery slope when you get into that. I just thought it was interesting that they're going out of their way to rotate these guys in as packages, and I do think it's a load management issue. Milton Williams has never played more than 48% of the snaps in any of his years, and Barmore's still coming back from blood clots. So he's still not all the way back.
You got to protect him a little bit.
So I understand
they're protecting him.
it just makes me a little nervous when those other two, Durden and Farmer, are in on 3rd and 10. That's all. I'm thinking.
Well, and then you got Farmer not doing himself any favors by having that bonehead
terrible penalty.
Yeah, terrible penalty against
both of them
James Cook.
They both did it. Wasn't it back-to-back penalties? And both of them did it, right?
Durden had a bad one too. He had a bad one.
But they're young guys. And you know what? I'll say this with Joshua Farmer. I was a big fan of his coming out of the draft. The fact when they landed him, I think in the 5th round. I'm not sure, 4th or 5th round he was in there.
4th.
It was 4th and 5th, because him and Braden Swinton. Mike and I were doing laps. We were like, hell yeah, we just robbed the draft.
Great value. Farmer, he's going to be a great player.
I think Farmer has the potential. I think Farmer has the potential to be a very nice rotational rush passing defensive tackle, a guy that can get you 4 to 6 sacks a season, create pressure, create havoc, and give us, guys like Milton Williams and Barmore a rest and a break, and you're going to still be able to have a good 3-man rotation. I just feel like right now, aside from Philadelphia, which is the obvious team, I don't think any other team in the league right now has the more dominant interior defensive line than the Patriots as far as completely. From Milton Williams to Christian Barmore to the way Tonga's playing, and Joshua Farmer contributing, Burden continuing, that they just have depth, skill, good rotation, and they're playing at an all-pro level.
If they do something crazy, like go trade for Trey Hendrickson, oh my God!
If they get Trey Hendrickson in here with Barmore and Williams, I mean, the Patriots have the luxury of literally just rushing 3 to 4 players all the time. With Harold Landry on one side, you know that would do what guys like Chase on, where they would rotationally come in with fresh with Harold Landry, Trey Hendrickson, and then you have your 2 monsters in the middle. I'm drooling just thinking about it. I might have to cut off the camera, but yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
That's all I want. That's all I want is a 4-man rush. If we can win with our front 4 guys, then we can keep the back guys in place, looking at the damn quarterback, whoever it may be.
If I'm Jonathan and Robert Kraft, I'm looking at this schedule and I'm looking at this weak shit AFC conference, and I'm saying, why not us? That's exactly what I'm saying. Why not us?
You can make a statement by doing that. You make a statement. You go and trade it for a guy like Trey Hendrickson. You're basically telling everyone,
you're on notice.
I believe on my team. I believe in my squad. I believe in everything, and I'm going to add pieces to it, and I'm going to give them every single resource available so that they go out there and make things happen. And I don't see how that would be an issue as far as I don't see how anybody could be against the idea of them trying to add a legitimate pass rusher like Trey Hendrickson. It'd be great.
Honestly, looking at the NFL period, look at the Eagles. The Eagles are a wounded dog right now. Their offensive line is banged up. Saquon has a knee injury. I was just talking to Jeremy on the phone, who's my buddy's an Eagles fan. He was actually at the thing tonight. Yeah. He's got a knee injury. His longest rush has been 17 yards this year. I don't know if it's a Madden curse or what.
No, it's because all the wide receivers are complaining over there.
But the offensive line is also hurt. So the Eagles are just they're not what they were last year, right? They lost a lot of their pieces. Howie Roseman did an amazing job to put that team together last year, but guess what? All good things must come to an end, and that was a legendary roster that they were not able to keep together. Who else in the NFC is a powerhouse? In the NFC.
The Lions are looking still.
The Lions
they started shaking.
Right?
Yeah. The Lions started shaky, but it looks like they found their footing, and they're coming along. And their offense is starting to click once again, and props to them, because I thought they were going to be in trouble when they lost Van Johnson, but so far it doesn't look like that seems to be the case.
Yep, Bucks, Rams, but
Bucks look good too. That Bucks game against the Seattle Seahawks, I saw that game fully, and I came thoroughly impressed with what the
Baker and Egbuka are real.
Those guys are real.
Yeah, Egbuka is.
Imagine Drake May with Egbuka. Oh my!
I don't want to even think about it, because at the end of the day, I feel like I don't really want to go down that road where I know, but because things are working out. If things are working out and we have somebody that can protect May, and it looks like Campbell is doing the job that needs to be done much better than we've seen in the previous years, then fine. I'm going to just have to live with that one. But man, does that kid look amazing. He looks so good.
He's
So good.
exactly right. It's like, who would you take? The fantastic slot receiver or a stalwart stud left tackle
Oh,
for the next
absolutely. No,
10 years? So
we're
that's a
playing
tough
with house
one.
money right now, boys. This draft this year is looking like the best draft probably ever. Sans obviously the Brady draft, which doesn't even matter who else was taken because that just takes number one slot. But the second best draft the Patriots have ever had. I know it's early. I know we got years to look at this, but I mean, this is a great, great draft. Trevion needs to wake up. We need Trevion to figure out his I don't know if it's
His
scheme. I
role.
don't know if it's scheme issues, if he's not understanding protection schemes, or is it the size of the players, or I don't know what it is, but he needs to figure that out. He has to now that Antonio Gibson is on. He's going to be on IR. He blew out his knee.
So that brings us right into the next thing here, where we only have 2 running backs on the roster.
That's
So Brian, who do you think they should pick up to fill in that third running back role? They have Terrell Jennings on the practice squad. I don't think he's the answer. He's a bruiser. I think we need somebody a little more well-rounded. I personally think we should pick back up Jermichael Hasty from the Miami's practice squad, only because he has system familiarity. I know he's not sexy.
He's a dual threat.
He's got plus special teams. He plays on 4 special teams units. So he makes the most logical choice to me.
Or do you trade for somebody? That's
or Brian, do you trade this for somebody? You get one of these street guys. What do you do to fill the third running back role?
We need it for sure.
I believe they signed someone to their practice squad or something like that from Atlanta. I'm not sure of the guy's name. I saw it on the ticker real quick, but I wasn't sure exactly who. So I know they signed someone for depth, but I'm not sure if that's the answer per se. I'd like to believe that they can go and get someone like they're probably going to go get somebody like off the streets as well. They're probably maybe like a guy like Zach Moss, who last year was I think he was employed by Cincinnati, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So maybe
Yeah,
a
he was
guy
the
like him.
backup.
Yeah. So maybe
Threw
someone like
around
that.
Zeke Elliott. I saw Zeke Elliott. Is he still out there? I mean,
He's
I
still
think
out
he
there.
played admirable. I think he played admirable when
He
we
did,
had him. I really do.
and you talk about a dual threat guy who's a veteran who doesn't fumble the football
Doesn't
and
fumble. Yes.
yeah.
He wasn't in anybody's camp. That guy's not in shape.
I don't know. I just don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I know we picked him up last time and he played really well. But does he still want to play? I don't know. But someone like that, like a veteran that is just gonna do what you
Someone
need
like
him to
that. I
do.
mean, as far as trade candidates, I really can't think of a lot of trade candidates. You think about guys like Nick Chubb, maybe with Joe Mixon coming back potentially from injury, he might be a veteran they might want to go and pick up if he starts losing touches. You also have guys like I know people have said Alvin Kamara. I don't see Alvin Kamara moving anywhere from the Saints. I think he's going to be like a lifer there. I don't see him moving anywhere anytime soon, unless his productivity falls off. And he's still, even though he's not like all the way washed, he definitely doesn't have the burst that he had once. But I'm not sure, that anybody wants to take on that contract. So, it's you have to kind of look at the NFL landscape and just kind of see what happens by the deadline, what teams are looking to clearly, looking towards the draft and fold the season, and what teams they think they can bounce back. Right now, I still feel like most teams, minus maybe the Jets and the Dolphins, probably, which is coincidentally is in our division, are probably the 2 teams who are like the most consensus. Like, okay, well, the season's, we're not doing.
I
Shit
would
this
have
season,
said Brees Hall. I would have said Brees Hall if Braylon Allen didn't just get hurt. But I don't know. I don't know if the Jets would have traded Brees Hall.
It's within division is tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say Justice Hill only because
Justice Hill's an interesting one.
Ravens are in the friggin' tank.
Yeah.
So
I would love Keaton Mitchell. Keaton Mitchell is an absolute stud.
He's dynamic.
I think he's a good one. But I guess we'll see. They'll probably take the cheapest route, most likely, and then that'll probably just be more carries for Trevion Henderson. They have to.
And yeah, unfortunately, it also means more carries, I think, for Ramondre Stevenson, and that's going to be It's going to be a terrifying thought for the rest of the year, knowing that we don't have a lot of options back there. At least with Gibson, we had like someone who not only, by the way, Gibson's not just a loss at running back. He was doing good on kick returns. He was doing a very good job.
Oh yeah, he won us the Dolphins game.
So it's definitely like it's people will overlook that, but it was a little bit of an impact loss. So they do need to fill that role with someone that can at least tote the ball a little bit. But Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they make any moves in the deadline. But I would have imagined that they're going to go the cheap route for running back. I think if they're going to look to make a splash, it's like Mike said, go for a pass rusher. If you think you have a pass rusher, to adding an impact pass rusher like Trey Hendrickson is a guy, then maybe something like that, or maybe depth at linebacker.
Yeah, I said that for the record.
Yeah.
But no, I do think that I think that we'll probably not make a big splash to play at running back. But I do think if we keep winning games, if we get into week 8 or 9 and we're looking at like 7 wins or something, 7-2, like how are you not tempted to go to the top and just say, nah, let me look at this guy.
Oh,
They
that'd
better
be
win the
great.
next 3. They have a chance
That'd
to
be
win the next
fantastic.
3, and all of a sudden you're looking at a whole different landscape for your football team. Because now you're
Right.
going next 3 wins, you're 6-2, the deadline right before the deadline looming, and you're like, okay, so what do we do? Like you could be looking at something like that. And the next 3 games are extremely winnable games. And the Patriots,
Definitely.
coincidentally, they play better on. They seem to play better on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really do.
Yeah,
Are
it really
good road
sucks
team.
that they
So
do, but they
yeah,
do,
yeah,
Brian, I want to ask you a fantasy related question in
sure.
regard to Travion Henderson because I've been hanging on to him all year. And I know that now he's going to get a bunch of extra snaps, but I just made a trade with Joe. I gave him Travion Henderson for Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones.
I basically traded in the entire Vikings backfield for Trevion, mainly because I have no running backs to start because I just lost to Marion Hampton. So I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to put all my eggs in the Trevion
So did I
basket.
get screwed or did he get? Who got screwed over here? Who got screwed?
I mean, to be fair, Jordan Mason has been a running back probably 2 to maybe 1 at some weeks, and then Aaron Jones.
Mason's doing good. And with Aaron Jones potentially coming back from injury, you don't know how much they're going to lean on him moving forward because Mason seems to have really done a terrific job with that Vikings team, and he's running with purpose. I saw him running a couple times.
PPR league, though.
Yeah.
Well, I say I have the risk because Trevion hasn't shown anything yet, but you also have Gibson who got hurt, so there's going to be more opportunity there. But what will he do with it? And
I think the upside is for Henderson. You have upside with
sure.
Henderson, but productivity right now, if we're looking at just flat out fantasy football productivity, who has been the most productive back out of those 2? It's obviously Mason, and who still is. I mean, like I said, I don't know the situation with Aaron Jones Sr. or how he's going to be coming back the severity of his injury, but Mason has been producing really well. So you're betting on someone you're betting on someone keeping the job. So they're both toss up risk. Right now it doesn't seem like a very unfair trade to me. It seems like it's pretty. You're both betting on 2 different things. So we'll see.
Good, because he fleeced me. He fleeced me in the last trade. I'll tell you that.
The last trade was Tyreek Hill. Involved Tyreek Hill.
It involved Tyreek
Hill. That was before. That was before. His leg.
I got FG in the A on that one.
Oh,
no.
That one hurt.
You got to.
All right, let's switch gears here and let's talk about these Saints. So, Bri, tell us what you think about these Saints. What are we walking into this weekend?
Well, the Saints are a football team. They wear gold helmets, and that's about all I know about the Saints.
Are they in the NFL or?
They wear gold helmets, and I just know 2 of their players: Spencer Rattler, actually 3, Taysom Hill, and Chris Olave. And that's basically all I know much about them. I don't know much about
Kamara.
Team.
Kamara.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean Kamara, sure, whatever. But I don't know much about the Saints. From what I've gathered, they're a scrappy team. They're not a pushover per se. I wouldn't go into this game taking them lightly because every time you go into the NFL and you take a team lightly, you can lose any game. Just like the Packers went in, took the Browns lightly, and look, they lost. So any given Sunday, the league still reigns supreme when it comes to that saying. Any given Sunday, you can lose to anyone. So I think it's important for them. I think Bravo and the staff and everybody needs to hammer it home. Like everything you were able to accomplish on Sunday night, it'll quickly fade away into oblivion if you go and just lay an egg against the Saints. You need to come out there, look ready, take them ready, do your job, be professional. Just go out there and get it. Make sure that pretend that everyone out there is the Bills and just really go after it and make sure that you execute the game plan the way the coaches want you to, and just play to your potential. And I think the Patriots have an immense amount of potential on both sides of the ball. They're playing good on defense. The offense is starting to hum a little bit more. So it's going to depend a lot of how that if there's going to be a hangover for the Patriots coming into New Orleans after such a big win and all this national media exposure that they've gotten this week, if that's going to kind of like affect them a little bit, or if their coaches are going to reel them back in and be like, okay, so we got to get ready for an opponent. Like I said, the Saints, they aren't spectacular by any means. They have a very limited offense, obviously, and then they have a very limited group of offensive skill players, but they can still hurt you, So they ran the ball against the Bills, I know, fairly well, something that we weren't able to do that great against the Bills, but the Saints did it at a much better rate. So their run game is at least formidable in that sense that they're able to produce yards. I know their Juwan Johnson, the tight end, he's having a really good solid season. Taysom Hill, and they're getting another guy back. I forgot the other guy's name, tight end back also as well. So they're probably going to have some plays backed up for us.
Foster Moreau, maybe.
Yeah. Foster, he's coming back also. They've activated him as well. And they're going to rely a lot on, just Olave and these guys to just kind of, move the offense along. But, on paper, we should be able to handle the Saints. So I think if the Patriots play to their strengths, they don't commit stupid penalties, don't make stupid turnovers, they should be able to handle the Saints with ease, you would think. So we'll see what happens.
They're a top 8 rushing team in the league right now, which is kind of underappreciated.
That plays to our strength.
But I was just going to say it absolutely plays to our strength because we are one of the best run defensive teams in the league, if not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Well, we're in the top 5, I thought.
For sure.
So I think we're in good shape. You have nobody. You don't need to double anybody. You don't need to double Chris Olave. You need to worry about their backfield. Juwan Johnson, we have trouble covering tight ends. So let's see if these guys, in particular, Craig Woodson. But guess what? That's Vrabel's boy. So let's see if he can cover the tight ends here. He benched Kyle Duggar because he couldn't cover tight ends. So if Craig Woodson can cover Juwan Johnson, he's one of their biggest threats. So if they can neutralize that, then that will be fine. It should be a walkover. And if it's not, the Patriots aren't for real.
They actually quietly also have a top 7 coverage team as well, according to PFF.
Yeah,
so that's
they're scrappy. They're scrappy.
Pound the rock.
They're scrappy. They're a scrappy team. I'm telling you, they're a scrappy team, and they do have Demario Davis. I think Demario Davis is their linebacker. He's a very good linebacker for them. Yep. And yeah, I don't want to look over. I don't think we should overlook opponents. I think they should just come in there, focus and ready to play, take care of business. This should be a dub for them if they don't shoot themselves in the foot, which I think. That's been the common theme throughout the season when me and you have talked about the Patriots this season is, well, can they not commit stupid penalties to force, 3rd and longs, and can they stop putting the ball on the floor? Like, stop fumbling the football. You should be okay. You're a capable team. They've shown that they can move the ball when they're not shooting themselves on the foot.
We've seen how, effective it is when you win the turnover battle. We wouldn't have won that game if we didn't cause 3 turnovers. We wouldn't have lost to Pittsburgh if we didn't commit 5 turnovers. So if you win the turnover battle, take care of the football first, and then everything else will be fine. But I have to tell you guys, I see this. I know everybody hates Ramondre right now. I see this as a huge Ramondre game. I really do.
I could totally see it too, to be honest.
I see them feeding him a whole bunch to test their run defense because
I just looked it up as well. They are the worst tackling team in the NFL.
I see establishing the run and then working play action off of that. And play action with Drake Maye and Stephon Diggs is deadly because I keep telling you, from 5 to 8 yards, he can find the soft spot. He just knows how to get open.
And he's been a yak monster.
After the catch.
A yak monster. He had 140 yards. I want to say it was close to 80 yards in yak.
Shifty dude, savvy route runner. Yeah. He just knows where to go and how to get open. If they key on that, listen, let's run it off. If it doesn't work, key on that guy. I don't care if he has 20 targets. I really don't.
No.
If they win the game handily, I'm all about it. And so they will be as well. So I'm looking forward to that type of game plan. Run the ball. If not, get it to Hunter Henry or Stephon Diggs.
That's one thing we're missing is we need to really establish the run game. That's one element that
we're
I
bad
thought
at it.
it's funny because I thought coming into the season with Will Campbell and some of these younger guys, they were gonna just eat running and then establish the pass. We've done the exact opposite. We are
I think we've done that though, but I'll tell you why we haven't been able to run the ball. It's because teams don't respect. They haven't respected for a long time our wide receivers and their vertical.
That's fair.
Right.
That's fair.
So they're keeping everything. They're playing shell defense. They're basically playing really tight, and a lot of these linebackers are really up against the line of scrimmage. They just don't respect our vertical game.
They don't have to, and they haven't had to.
But now that Drake is making
everybody's
plays,
eyes are in the backfield.
Yeah. But now that Drake is rolling out and throwing 50-yard bombs on a rope to guys, and Diggs is making people getting open downfield, and more explosive plays are happening, we may start seeing the run game open up a bit, because now you're going to see a lot less shell coverage, where you're going to start seeing a lot more, man-to-man, maybe more zone, more things like that. And all of a sudden that might open up more lanes, more opportunities for the run game, for these guys to get out there in space and do some things. I think the lack of explosiveness in the beginning kind of hurt the run game, but now we might see something different.
I'm sick and tired of people saying that Drake can only roll out to the right, because that's not true.
Yeah, ridiculous.
He can run out to the left, and he angles his contour back, and he still drops a dime. He didn't do it that much in this game, but there's film of him doing it all the time. He can roll out either way. So I'm tired of the national narrative. Well, let's see him roll out to his left. Guess what? You'll probably see that a couple of times. And
you did see it against the Panthers.
Yeah, you saw it a couple of times.
He threw an absolute dart to Hunter Henry up the sideline and went for a touchdown.
So the moving pocket is really working for the whole entire offense. It works for the running game as well.
Yeah.
When we're doing the outside zones and the duo blocks and him getting off tackle and whatnot, it's really working in that regard too. So it's just another element for the defense to have to deal with, along with all the different motions and different sets that they're running. So let's just keep that offense going. Why not? You got nothing to lose on it.
Yeah, I think if I have to say, I think the Patriots will win quite comfortably, but I don't want to say that like too confidently. But I do believe that if they play to their ability that they've shown this season, they should not have an issue handling the Saints
at all.
We have much more tougher opponents coming up than the Saints. I think we'd be okay.
I think the Browns, will be very interesting, because the Browns defense poses a whole nother ball of wax that we haven't seen yet. I think that they're better than the Bills defense.
Yeah.
They definitely
for
are.
sure.
You're gonna see
the Browns are great defense. Yeah.
The Browns might be a top 5
Myles
defense.
Garrett will get doubled
period.
that whole entire game.
Yep.
Doubled that whole entire game.
All right, boys. So I think we're at the point of predictions for the Saints game.
We are.
Mike, we'll start with you.
I'll do it. All right. Yeah, I'm obviously feeling good about the matchup. I think that they're going to score both on the ground and in the air. I think Steph Diggs finally gets his damn touchdown. I got Stephon Diggs for like 8 and 90 and a score, something like that. I have Ramondre for about 18 carries, 90 yards, and another score.
I love it.
And I have us taking it to them 31-17. I think 31, and I think the 17 is going to be garbage time. I think it's going to be a blowout 31-10 until the end of the game, until they get a garbage touchdown. Patriots 31-17 in this game all day long.
Wow, I love it.
Okay.
Go ahead, Bri.
I like the confidence. I like the swag there a little there, Mike. I do like the conviction for which you just gave me that score. And again, the nipples, they're just going crazy. But
he knows how practical I am. I'm a practical dude. I'm not being practical, but
it's insane. I think the Patriots handled the Saints. Mainly because I think they're going to control the line of scrimmage. I do think that we just have an advantage when it comes to stopping the run, like you guys said. And I don't think that the Saints are very powerfully, they're not powerful or explosive as far as getting to the quarterback, etc. like that. So it might be a little easier for our guys than what they were able to handle against the Bills. I think Drake May continues his MVP campaign. I think he's going to go for 296 and 2 tubs. And I think Hunter Henry and Stephon Diggs Stephon Diggs will finally find the end zone here and get him a play in there. So I think Drake's going to rush for like maybe 10 for like 42 or something like that. Just nothing crazy. But I do expect a 24-10 win as well. I think they'll control the game. They'll make the plays that they need to make, and at the end they should come out on top. I'm not sure exactly how explosive the running game is going to be because again I want to say I believe in Ramondre Stevenson's fumbling issues will go away someday ever, but I do think that the Patriots will control the line of scrimmage in this game, and they're going to come away with a 24-10 win, and we'll be 4-2. And we'll start making some real actual headlines for sure.
We don't have a choice. We have to play Ramondre. We don't have a choice.
Pretty much.
You're not going to
Or
get
Henderson.
Work,
or Henderson.
early work. Yeah, it could be. We'll see.
If he gets 20 carries, then talk to me. We'll see about it. I don't know if they trust him for that. I just think just going to continue to lean on Mondre.
It's the pass protection, right? I think that's what's limiting him. So, Brian, what was your score again?
24-10 Pats.
24-10. Okay,
I love that defensive.
A little less electric.
I love it.
24-10. Yeah,
boys,
give Pats some
boys. I'm known for going overboard. I'm known for that.
He is.
And by the way, I'm the one who disrespected the Panthers so much that I said it was going to be a blowout. I think this game is going to feel like a blowout. We're not going to quite get that 40 burger, but it's going to be 38-20. And I agree with Mike. It's going to feel worse than that. But then towards the end, they might get like a field goal, after the second half to, get their hopes back up.
When we pull our starters.
Yeah. and then they'll score a touchdown or something. Right. So I think it'll be 38-20. We're going to have a defensive score. I just feel it. Spencer Rattler. Nice. I know he had a pretty decent game last week. He can run the ball, but I think he's going to cough it up. Whether it's a pick or
are you afraid of him?
Six. I'm not afraid of him at all. He can be dynamic, but he's just not up to the task. Mike Vrabel is going to have his head spinning, and between our pass rush up the middle and our corners and our secondary, he just has no chance. Alvin Kamara, I'm sorry, you're dust. To us at least, you're not dust to the NFL, but to us, we make James Cook look like an amateur. So you are not going to do anything against us. I do agree Diggs will have a touchdown. I think Trevion will be in the mix, but I do believe the corpse of Ramondre Stevenson will probably rumble for 80 or 90 yards because this team can't tackle. So yeah, that's where I'm at, boys.
I like it. I like all the predictions. I think I like how positive we're all at, and just think how far we've come, right? Last year, we're all like, a game will come up and we're like, well, this is an L. But guys, Drake May, right? Drake May. Like, I mean, at least we get to look forward to watching Drake May. And now we're like, no, the defense, special teams, the kicker, God bless him. I always believed in him. I always believed in you. And I'm lying. I didn't.
I know. You're being sarcastic.
I didn't believe in it at all. But, what a difference year makes, guys. I don't know. I don't even know if I was breathing while he made the kick. I think I forgot how to breathe for about 10 seconds. But yeah, it's good. It's good. He made it.
I went and hid in the corner. I hid behind Joe, so I didn't have to see it. And I looked at the last minute. He would have had that thing good from like 68 or 70. He freaking split.
He nailed that.
He nailed it. It was a amazing kick. But yeah. I think, guys, and I was saying this again in the preseason. I was saying this schedule plus, as long as our offensive line can marginally improve, which it's done more than that, it's exceeded those expectations. Because I was saying if we're like, 20th best line, not even middle of the pack, but now we're like kind of middle of the pack to plus. We're not like top 10, but we're not below, I don't think, middle of the pack. And then again, the bar was low for me. It's receivers that can catch the ball. And that's another one where we exceeded that expectation as well, because we didn't have that last year. And Drake may take a little bit of a step forward. he's taken a monster leap. He's taken a monster to the point where people are talking about MVP. So, guys, this is it. I mean, the bar has never been higher at this point, and
we're back,
we got a
baby.
lot of green in front of us. This schedule, it's it's not a complete cakewalk. There's some bumps and roads along the way, but I see it. I see 10 wins, 11 wins. Heck, you could talk me into 12 wins. I'm not against it.
Pats are back, baby. Write it down.
We
Take
are
a
Pats
picture.
are back, baby. Also, I like to apologize for having my closet door open, but because now you guys can see like all my
Oh,
stuff.
I was focusing on that the
Someone-
whole.
I'm cleaning out my
It was the only
Someone,
thing I could think of.
I have some hats up there, some stuff. I was like, you know what? I was like, I just need to talk to the boys right now. I don't give a damn
Is
about
that a
this closet.
dildo? No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Yeah, that's the 5,000. No, we don't talk about that off air. But yeah, guys.
I've never like noticed anybody's backdrop.
I did. I noticed it.
I didn't notice it until just now. I just focused.
I need you guys to send me one of those flags I can put
The
back
band.
there.
Oh, we
like
got
that.
you.
It's
We
funny
got
because I had somebody watching the stream. Shout out to Madison, and she's like, "Oh, I wish your closet door was closed." Like I was like, "Oh shit!" I was just so excited about Drake May, guys. I'm sorry, I couldn't.
Bro, we have an issue like that literally every single
There's
show.
something. We had the banner fall in 1 week.
Yeah, there's always
something.
one thing that you don't quite get. So we worked it out. It works out fine.
You know what?
As long
If
as
they
we
win,
get the
if they win
content.
again, if they win by the score I predicted, or even the score that you guys predicted, I'm opening all the closets. I mean, it's gonna be a tradition. Everything's gonna get shown. All right. I'm gonna start putting everything's gonna happen exactly the same way as long as we keep winning. So it's fine.
I'm all about superstition, baby. You gotta ride the hot hand.
Hey,
so.
I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious. Right?
All right, Michael Scott.
Well, actually, it was. Did you see Diggs? The quote with Diggs?
No,
he was mic'd up on the sideline.
Oh, did he?
And he said the same thing too. He was saying to a bunch of guys, he's like, no, don't move. He's like, you stay right there. No, you don't get in between us. You stand
that's
up.
right.
Stay standing. Stay standing. They were winning, and he's like, I'm just a little stitious.
I wonder if he ever watched The Office.
There's no way he hasn't. You can't say stitious.
Yeah, he knows 5%. He only knows a 5 out of 10 in the playbook. He hasn't. Just imagine when he knows like the full playbook. It's just a 5 out of 10.
Exactly.
He was being a little stitious on that one too.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got 10 out of 10 as far as chemistry with Drake May right now. So I don't want to hear about it. He knows exactly where to go when this kid gets on the run. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait.
Excited, guys. Let's do it. Let's do it again. Good times.
Well, Bri, thank you so much for joining. You're a pleasure to have on, man.
Always.
We'll make you a regular soon. It's honestly, it's our pleasure.
I'm glad to be here, guys. Anytime, any day. Closets, no closets. I will be here. I promise.
You do you, bro.
Hey, if we listen to this, ready? I got a fun one for us. If we win the division, we're gonna do an episode with our shirts off.
Oh, jokes off.
Hey, man,
you guys will finally get to see my nipples in action. Yes,
that's what I'm going for.
Oh my
God.
Nobody wants to see me.
Mike,
shirtless.
don't you fucking talk to me like that. I want it. I want it so bad.
If we win, it doesn't matter. If we win, that's it.
Well, then I'll borrow one of my wife's sports bras.
That's it. I love it. Yes,
like that?
Cross dressing is has to be included as well.
We'll work it out that way.
Love it.
All right, guys. Always fun. Thank you so much, Bri. And as always, folks, let's go.
LFG, baby. LFG, Bri. Thanks so much, buddy.